Behind this door, the forgotten wait. It was late at night when Tom and Daniel decided to explore the old Willow Creek Hospital. The hospital had been closed for over 20 years. Stories said it was haunted, but Tom didn't believe in ghosts, and Daniel was curious. The building was big and dark. The windows were broken and the doors creaked as they pushed them open. Their flashlights flickered as they walked inside. The air was cold and smelled like dust and old medicine. The walls were covered with peeling paint and faded signs. They walked through long, empty halls with broken beds and rusty equipment. Suddenly, they heard a soft sound. It was like whispering. They stopped. The sound seemed to come from room 217. Tom whispered, "Let's check it out." The door to room 217 was half open. Inside, they saw old hospital beds covered with dirty sheets. On the far wall, there was a faded photograph of a nurse smiling at the camera. Suddenly, Daniel's flashlight went out. He clicked it on and off, but it didn't work. Then Tom's light started to flicker again. A cold breeze blew through the room, even though the windows were closed. Then they heard a voice, a woman's voice, soft and sad. "Help me." Tom and Daniel froze. The voice came again, louder this time. "Help me, please." They looked around, but the room was empty. Daniel whispered, "Maybe someone is trapped here." Tom shook his head. "No, the hospital is abandoned." Suddenly, the photograph on the wall fell to the floor with a loud bang. They both jumped. "Let's go," Daniel said nervously. They ran out of the room down the hallway, but the hospital felt different now, darker and colder. As they passed the nurse's station, they saw shadows moving, but no one was there. Tom tried to open the exit door, but it was locked tight. They were trapped. The whispering voices grew louder all around them now. "Help us! Don't leave! Stay with us." Suddenly, lights flickered on, old hospital lights glowing with a strange, pale blue color, and they saw them. Figures in old hospital gowns, pale and ghostly, floating just above the floor. Their eyes were empty and their mouths moved, but no sound came out. Tom and Daniel ran to the stairs. They climbed quickly, but the ghosts followed. The hospital seemed to stretch longer, halls never ending. Finally, they found a small door marked "Staff Only." They pushed it open and found a small office with a phone. Tom grabbed the phone and dialed 911, but the line was dead. The ghosts surrounded them now, cold hands reaching out. Daniel screamed. Suddenly, everything went dark. When Tom opened his eyes, he was outside the hospital, alone. The sun was rising. Daniel was gone. The hospital was silent again. Tom never went back. But at night, he still hears the whispering voices calling his name from the old Willow Creek Hospital. Tom sat on the cold ground, his heart pounding. The sun was just rising, casting weak light over the old hospital's dark windows. He looked around. Daniel was nowhere to be seen. The hospital stood silent and still, like it was waiting for him to come back. He tried to call her name, but only silence answered. Tom knew he couldn't just leave her inside that place. The voices in his head whispered warnings, "Don't go back." But he had to find Daniel. That day, Tom visited the local library. He searched old newspapers and records about Willow Creek Hospital. What he found was chilling. Years ago, a terrible fire had trapped many patients and staff inside the hospital. Some survived, but many were lost, their bodies never found. The hospital was closed and left to decay. Some said the souls of those trapped still roamed the halls, unable to leave. Determined, Tom prepared to return, this time ready. He took a small camera, a recorder, and some salt, hoping to protect himself. As night fell, Tom approached the hospital again. This time, the doors opened slowly, as if inviting him in. Inside, the air was colder and the whispers louder. Suddenly, Daniel's voice called out, "Tom." He followed her voice deeper into the hospital, through dark corridors and broken rooms. Finally, he reached a room where Daniel stood, pale and weak, but alive. "Come with me," he said, but his eyes looked empty. Tom realized Daniel was trapped between worlds, caught by the hospital's curse. He sprinkled salt around them, hoping to break the curse. The ghosts appeared, surrounding them, but the salt glowed bright. The hospital shook, the walls groaning. Suddenly, a bright light filled the room and the spirits vanished. Daniel collapsed into Tom's arms, free. Together, they ran outside. From that day, the hospital stayed quiet. No more whispers, no more ghosts. But Tom knew some places never fully forget.